And what we're finding in Australia, and it's very sad that this is happening, is natural fibre almost seems to be fading out. And a lot of blankets today are made out of nylon, a lot of quilts are being made out of nylon, so you really have to search. And when you're doing wet sheet packs or any natural treatments, it must be wool. You cannot use those other fibres. Only wool will do it. So we ran a massage course about 5 years ago, and one of the ladies that came and did our massage course, she works in a second-hand shop. Do you call it second-hand shop?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Down in Kurumbong. And we said to her, can you keep your eye out for woolen blankets? Well, 2 months later, we got 10 woolen blankets. So we have a lot of woolen blankets. And when I cook herbs, I always do it in the coffee percolator, you know, the Pyrex glass. And so I put the word out for that, and we had people looking. Oh, we've got about 20 of them now. We've got so many of them. So make use of your second-hand shop. So when we started the new retreat, we did not have enough furniture, and we had no money. So we went to the second-hand shop. And you can get some nice things in the second-hand shop. They must be tasteful, and that's what your rooms must be. They must look very pleasant. So when your guest comes into the room, they look at it and go, oh, that's nice. And you can always freshen it up with some fresh flowers. And I even see nice flowers going out in the bush. And so that's very important. You don't have to have state-of-the-art as long as it's clean. And your linen is very, very nice. Your pillows, you must get new pillows. And we always put a pillow protector on our pillow and then the pillowcase. Because when your guests are detoxing, they're perspiring a lot, and that protects the pillow from staining.
So the pillow protector is in cotton?
Yeah. And if you can't find pillow protectors, and sometimes pillow protectors are made out of a nylon-y stuff, what you can do is just get really cheap pillowcases that could even be half polyester, half cotton. And then, you know, they could be used as the pillow protector. The pillowcase must always be cotton. So you can get away with it like that. And every mattress must have a mattress protector on it. Ideally cotton. Sometimes they'll have cotton tops, but not underneath, as long as what's near the guest. And towels. I've got some beautiful towels from second-hand shops. And sometimes you can get towels from, as a business, you can get it from hotel chains. You can often buy piles of towels quite cheap. So you look at that. And we always give our guests 2 towels and a washer in their rooms, and always a face cloth. So I've always got my eye out. Now we had quite a big health retreat when we were down in Melbourne. We started small, but it got very big. We were averaging 16, 18 guests every program. And that would be 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks on, 1 week off. So we got
washer,
face cloth.
Yeah, you said a washer. What's that?
A washer is a face cloth.
Yeah, okay.
We call it a washer, but some people call it a face cloth. Mm-hmm. And so I had quite a few people working there, and I had the sanitarium or the health centre supervisor, and our laundry lady just got an inheritance, and she said, Barbara, I want to buy new linen for you. I want it as a gift. So I got the girl to go and find some nice linen. And she came back and she had a few examples of linen, and it was terrible. It was half nylon and the pattern wasn't very nice. So since that, I just buy all the linen. It has to be very tasteful. I always say that our rooms must be the level of the top hotel. So it's good to stay in a hotel and just look what they do. Now obviously we can't afford some of the things they do, but just have a look at how they clean, just have a look at how everything's in its place. And Michael and I stayed at a hotel when we were travelling, and we noticed the bathrobe. What they do with the bathrobe, they have the arms over like that, and then they have the tie around hanging on a coat hanger. And I thought, that looks very nice. So I went home and said to the staff, this is how we're going to do the bathrobes. We didn't always have bathrobes. We have bathrobes now. You don't have to start off with bathrobes. And the beauty of that is it looks very neat. So you want to be extremely fussy on neatness and everything just so. In fact, I always used to go through the rooms and just look. I just want everything perfect. I just want everything in place for when the guests arrive. And one of the guests said to Michael, can't you get Barbara out of the rooms? You know, what's Barbara doing in the rooms? And Michael said, I can't get her out. But it's also the worldly view that if you're the health director, you shouldn't be doing things like that. But our master kneeled on the ground and washed his disciples' feet. That's not how we view it. It's not how we view it at all. So a juice is important, to be able to juice. And you can get some very good juices. The juices that you want to get is the slow rev. You familiar with slow rev? You can get juices from any electrical place that just juice very quickly, but they're high centrifugal and you do lose a lot of the vitamins there. But if you get the juices that slowly crush the juice, the slow juices, we have one called Three Angels, and I think an Adventist put that together. There's Norwalk, there's Green Power, there's Samson, there's quite a variety. It takes longer to juice, absolutely, but the manufacturers of these juices claim that you can keep their juice for 48 hours. Now, we don't keep it for 48 hours, but what we do is the guests come in on Sunday. Again, we give them a main meal. You'll see on the activities program, and then they start juicing Monday, Tuesday, as you'll see by the chart. So we juice the 8 o'clock and the 10 o'clock juice, we juice on Sunday afternoon. Because one thing you have to be cautious of, many health retreats close down because the staff are overworked. So you have to take time to have time outs. So what we do is it's always shift work. The person that starts early in the morning, then they're not working late at night. And the one that works late at night is not starting early in the morning. So because of Monday, Tuesday juice days, our chef doesn't have to come until 8 o'clock on the 2 juicing days, because the other days they're going to be coming on at 6 because we serve breakfast at 7:30. So you might not want to keep exactly to those times, but it's just a little bit of an outline of we found what works for us. And of course, when you've got as many people as we have now, we probably average between, well, before I was banned, we averaged between 12 and 14. But then I was banned, and then COVID hit, and that just that just killed business. So we're averaging probably between 6 and sometimes 10. So we average 6 to 8 guests per program now. And we find with this, we just fit everything in. And you'll see that there are treatment times. And part of our price, each guest can have 2 massages. And so when you've got 8, 10 guests, see there are a lot of slots there. So the person who's there for the week, you'll just choose 2 spots where they'll sit into that. You notice we have 3:30 ladies steam and a 4:30 men's steam, because our little steam hut is down by the creek. It's a wood-fired steam sauna, and the guests go from the sauna into the creek and back into the sauna. That's not always possible because not everyone has a creek like we had, or a stream like we have. And the retreat I was at in England, they had saunas that one person gets in and they sit on a chair, and it's like they're in a little tent, but it finishes at the neck and it zips up, and then there's a little machine that pumps steam in, and I know the guests were very happy with those little saunas. So you might investigate and find out what's available. Or you could go really primitive like Michael and have like a tent over them and a kettle underneath that's steaming. But the steam sauna is very effective because it stimulates the body to throw off waste, which is very important via the skin when you're on a steam sauna. So we'll have a break in a minute, but before we do, I want to tell you how they did it at one retreat in Fiji. And this is possible, and that is digging a hole. So there's the ground, and they put rocks in there, rocks, and then they built a fire, and the fire, this is a fire, and then that fire went for about an hour and heated the rocks up. And then the fire goes out, and they put boards across there and put a chair on there and put a tent over that and throw water in. You know, a bucket of water at a time, because you imagine when it does on the rocks, the steam comes up. So, you know, you don't need any money for that. And that's quite primitive, but, you know, it's a steam sauna. Before you do it to the guests, you do it to yourself. You've got to master it, refine it a little bit. But that is certainly something you can do. And what they did, they have it beside the river, which is very nice.
Or a lake.
Mm-hmm. Or a lake, yep. Yep.
That could be seen as quite exotic.
That's right, that's right. And it's all how you market it. See, we were way out in the bush, and Michael marketed that as Australia's wildest health retreat. And so when you market it, you've got to look at where you are and what people want. And do you know what people love? Detox. They love juicing. So you have a look at what people want. And I know when we're in Melbourne, we were only 1 hour from Melbourne. So Michael marketed it as that, only 1 hour from Melbourne. So that's what he did. We did not market, we did not advertise as a Christian health retreat, because then you won't get any atheists. And that's what you want, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And in Australia, because it's such a secular environment there, we would pray always with a meal, and when they first come in and we show the meal, and Michael says, "Welcome to Misty Mountain Health Retreat, and you know, this is our first meal," and you know, the chef will be there, or the cook, and explaining what it is. And then Michael says with a huge big smile on his face, "Well, it's usually my habit to say grace, so I'll just say grace." And he usually says, "Father in heaven, thank you so much for this beautiful meal, and I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen." That's it. That's it. Because some people, when he's done that, they're looking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable. But Michael is smiling, and then as soon as it's over, I go in and say, "Would you like a plate? What would you like first?" So it moves them on, move them on, move them on. It's true, that's some Australians. And you're so nice, and you're smiling so sweetly, and the food is amazing, that they settle down. They settle down.